So y'all have probably clicked this video with the intention of knowing how to study for long hours or how to get that motivation to study. Yes, you have clicked on the right video, but before I continue, I just want to point out that I don't really think that I'm the best person to bring that motivation in your life to study. But because I have literally been inclined to studying my entire life, I do know what motivates me and inspires me to study for long hours. So in this video, I am going to be sharing the different things that I used to do and I still do to get that habit of studying for long hours or just to focus for a really long time. So let's get into the video. The first thing that really matters to me when it comes to studying is the location. If the selected location for my study is not really going to be compelling me to get into that zone for studying, then I'm really not going to be inspired or motivated to continue. So what I mean is, during my NEET preparation, I had so many locations and I used to change between them just to get into that zone to study. And that's one of the main reasons that I could study for long hours. So when it was like early morning or late nights, I would stick to my room. But when it was like sunny days, I would walk around the house and study. When it was a windy day, I would go to the terrace and just sit there. My cats would come in between. So changing my location and making studying fun, as I mentioned in my last video, meaning that my room had to have that atmosphere of studying. So I would paste charts on the walls, I would put quotes, motivational quotes on the wall, and I even had a chalk piece and I used to write on the walls the formula and all of that. And I know that all of this does not really seem to make much sense, but when you have this kind of external look to academics, when you try to make all of this studying more comforting for you, then it really does make a difference. So just giving yourself that ability to have more flexibility coming to locations will bring a change in your mindset and will break that monotony. So try changing your location and it may help you to study more. Now, a lot of the times during my NEET preparation, I would be experiencing these low phases of having too many backlogs, let's say, or too many tests piled up, or just these negative emotions of pessimism, stress, frustration, all of that. Now, at this point, I was not having that internal drive to maintain the consistency which I should be giving. So in order to come out of this rut, I would either be looking for intrinsic sources of motivation or for extrinsic sources. Now when I'm talking about what I used to do, at first, I would kind of try and remind myself of how far I've come, like how many days I've already dedicated to this NEET preparation. And I would just try and remember what and all I've been doing, and just that memory of focusing so much and maintaining that consistency for so long would kind of sometimes drive me to continue further. Now, how would I do this? How on earth could I be remembering something I've been doing for so many months? And that's where my diary writing comes into play. Alright, so like from the beginning of 2022, I have been maintaining a diary. So like every day before going to bed, I would just like write down the highlights of the day, maybe some strong emotions I've been feeling, or just like what I've been doing, studying and all of that. At first, I was a bit skeptical, like who writes and maintains a diary like every single day? But slowly I started to get that pleasant feeling of giving the future me something to reflect on. What I'm trying to get at is that maintaining a diary really did help me when I was in those low phases, because just reading and flipping through a few pages would suddenly bring that necessity for the present me to just study again. So having that notion that I have been going on for so many days, I've already done a lot to my NEET preparation, and just giving up now was really just going to lead me to the middle of nowhere, and it was just going to be very unfair to my past self, because my past self was dedicating so much of time because Aisiri wanted something in the future. I wanted to score well in the NEET exam. So if the present me was going to have these pessimistic feelings, then that is just not going to be good. So that necessity to study would come from within by flipping through the pages of the diary. But not always, again. Sometimes these intrinsic sources of motivation would just not work. At this point, you really do need to have these kind of external sources, because I always used to remind myself that even though I'm like a mature NEET aspirant, I'm still a kid, right? So sometimes you cannot have that internal drive always. You do need to have some external support to get you through things. So sometimes motivation comes through materialistic things, but a lot of the time it's just by reflecting and just by having these thoughts that you can bring yourself to study. So my extrinsic sources of motivation was more of like surfing on the internet, on YouTube, finding these motivational videos and toppers talks. There was this channel, Chamomile Tea with Toppers, and there they would invite these NEET toppers and like kind of do an interview with them about their strategies. And watching that would motivate me because I would feel like if I wanted to go on such a platform, then I really did need to study now and give the dedication and hard work as a NEET aspirant should be doing. And although I couldn't go there, and although I haven't like got the best marks in the world to be invited to do such interviews, I know that it was such videos which really got me through such low phases of the NEET journey. So yes, that is one way. Other ways would just be like going out, eating some street food or something like that, because I really do like food. So just having a good treat to myself would be like a way of motivating myself. If you're feeling very, very, very low, then just take a break. And what I'm not just saying the study breaks, just take a really good break, like 2-3 days. Just do something which you find entertaining, and then you'll get that internal drive to study again. And why did I rely on these extrinsic sources? Because sometimes, again, looking at my NEET days of my past would just dishearten me more, being like, I'm doing the same thing again and again, and there's still such a long time for the NEET exam. So how long will I keep on doing this? So when those thoughts would come, I would rely on extrinsic sources. Alright, this is the end of part 1. See you next Sunday for part 2.